Imagine you have $10,000. You could spend it. You could leave it sitting in a checking account. You could use it in a way that gives it the potential to generate more money over time. That third option is the foundation of wealth creation. Because there is a major difference between earning money and building wealth. Most people spend their entire working lives trying to increase their income. They work more hours, look for better jobs, try to earn more from their business. But wealthy people think about something else. How can the money I already have produce more money? And that question changes everything. Because when your money starts producing income, growth, or ownership without requiring you to trade another hour of your life for it, you begin to build something much more powerful than a paycheck. You begin to build a financial system. And in this video, we're going to break down exactly how money can make more money, how wealthy people put their capital to work, and how an ordinary person can start thinking about money the same way. Let's start with a simple idea. Your income is the money you receive. Your wealth is what you own and what those assets can potentially produce for you. Imagine two people. Person A earns $100,000 a year but spends almost all of it. Person B earns $70,000 but consistently uses part of that income to acquire productive assets. After several years, Person A may have a high income but very little wealth. Person B may have a lower income but a growing collection of assets. That's because wealth isn't simply about how much money comes in. It's about what happens to the money after it arrives. This is where the concept of putting money to work becomes important. Instead of every dollar being used for consumption, some dollars are directed toward assets or opportunities that have the potential to create future value. Your money becomes a worker. And unlike a human worker, that dollar doesn't need sleep. It can potentially keep working while you're at your job, eating dinner, or sleeping. One of the most important ways money can make more money is through ownership. When you own a productive asset, you aren't simply holding something. You're owning a piece of something that may generate economic value. Imagine a fictional company called Brighttech. Suppose Brighttech earns profits and grows over time. If you own a small piece of that business through shares, you participate in the potential growth of that ownership. You didn't personally build the products. You didn't personally sell them. You didn't personally manage the employees. But your capital helped you become an owner. That's one of the fundamental ideas behind investing. Instead of only working for money, you use money to acquire ownership in productive assets. This is why investing isn't simply about watching prices move up and down. At its core, investing is about putting capital into something with the expectation that it can create value over time. Now we reach one of the most powerful forces in finance, compounding. Compounding means your returns can eventually begin generating additional returns. Let's say you invest $10,000 and, hypothetically, it grows at an average annual rate of 8%. After 1 year, you'd have about $10,800. The next year's growth isn't based only on the original $10,000. It's based on the larger amount. Over many years, this difference becomes enormous. And here's the important part. Compounding doesn't usually look impressive at the beginning. The first few years can feel slow, but as the amount of capital grows, the potential growth becomes increasingly meaningful. Think of it like pushing a snowball down a hill. At first, the snowball is small, but as it continues rolling, it can collect more snow. Your investment returns can work in a similar way when they're reinvested. The key isn't finding some magical investment that makes you rich overnight. The key is giving productive capital enough time to grow. People hear about compounding and immediately think, how can I get the highest return possible? That's the wrong first question. A better question is, how can I build a system that I can maintain for decades? Because a theoretical high return doesn't matter if the strategy causes you to panic, sell at the worst possible time, or take risks you don't understand. Wealth creation is not just a mathematics problem, it's a behavior problem. Another secret behind how money makes money is simple. Don't always take the money out. Sometimes, the money your assets generate can be reinvested to acquire even more productive assets. Imagine you have an investment that generates $500. You could spend the $500, or you could reinvest it. Now your original capital and the reinvested money can potentially generate future returns. Then those returns can be reinvested again. This creates a cycle: capital, returns, reinvestment, more capital, and more potential returns. Another way money can work is through cash flow. Some assets can potentially generate ongoing income. For example, imagine someone owns a rental property. If it produces rental income after expenses, that cash flow can become another source of income. The important concept isn't the specific asset, it's the structure. You own something. That ownership produces economic value, and that value can potentially become income or be reinvested. Here's something most people don't fully appreciate. Time itself can become an advantage. Suppose someone starts investing at 25. Another person starts at 40. The first person doesn't necessarily need to invest more aggressively. They simply have more time for compounding to operate, and time cannot be purchased later. That's why starting early can be so powerful. You can earn more money, reduce expenses, and change your investment strategy. But you cannot go backward and recover the years you didn't give your capital to grow. So the goal isn't to ask, how can I get rich quickly? Ask a better question. How can I consistently turn a portion of today's income into productive capital that has the potential to create more value tomorrow? Because the moment your money starts working alongside you, you stop depending entirely on your next paycheck. And that is where the journey from earning money to building wealth truly begins.